Oh my gosh, this episode is hilarious.
A few moments later.
Oh my gosh. Well, this episode takes a turn I did not expect it to take. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review. We're back at it with episode 7 of the iCarly revival, now streaming on Paramount Plus. It's starring, in case you forgot, Miranda, Cosgrove, Jerry, Trainor, Nathan, Kress, Laci, Mosley, and Jaidyn, Triplett. Now, episode 6 was enjoyable, and it is at the top of the screen if you missed my review. And before you sit down and finish watching this video, guys, if you haven't seen this week's episode, you should watch it and then come back because we're getting into some spoilers. The title of the episode is I Need Space, and it's written by the wonderful Franchesca Ramsey. Guys, when I found out she was writing this episode, I was over the moon. She has been so great, so supportive, not only of the fans, but also of these videos that I've been doing every week. So a huge shout out to Franchesca Ramsey, and we're going to talk about her awesome writing in this episode soon. But before we get into it, if it is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where I talk about movies and TV like this all the time. So if you don't want to miss out, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and tap on that bell, guys, and get loud in the comments and let me know if this episode worked for you. Is it one of your favorites? Let's have a conversation about it, and hit that thumbs up button if you've been a big fan of the iCarly revival series on Paramount Plus. Alrighty, y'all, so you know what, let's get into the episode, what it's about, and talk about why it's one of the strongest episodes of the season. We start off with Harper and Carly in their apartment, and it seems like Harper is getting ready for a huge interview. It's a styling job, I believe, and boy are there clothes everywhere. And right off the bat, guys, I noticed something. The dialogue is incredibly snappy. Everything in that extended cold opening sequence before the usual intro was very effective, and I thought the dialogue itself was just so quick. It was so well paced. The entire episode moves along, you guys. So from this point on, you better buckle up and don't blink, because you're going to miss out on some awesome dialogue and some very important story details for the episode. Eventually, we find out that Harper and Carly cannot stand to work together, so they need to find a shared space, a working space, and that's where Argentina comes in. And I'm not even kidding, her name is Argentina. She is a woman that Spencer is dating at the time and introduces her to Carly and Harper, but Argentina already knows about iCarly. So already the seeds are starting to be placed that Argentina is not necessarily an ally in this situation. She seems like the antagonist, but we'll get there. Eventually we get to lean in a shared workspace environment that, well, is much more than meets the eye. It's an all-woman workspace, and it seems like everyone there is almost mind controlled to a degree. It felt a little suspicious to me, and I thought it was a cult, and well, guys, we eventually find out that it is a cult. So now the main storyline in this episode is Carly trying to help Harper get out of this and save the other women from Argentina, who is data mining, literally using Nest. It's a soundproof space where you think it's private, but instead it's Argentina spying on these women and taking their ideas and selling them to corporations. It's boy, it takes a dark turn there, because honestly, it's a commentary on our phones. I mean, that's what companies do every day. But that isn't the only plot here, guys. There is a subplot that deals with Millicent and Freddie, where Millicent is a part of the Sunshine Girls. It's a Girl Scouts of some sort, but Millicent is fed up. She doesn't want to fundraise. She wants to make money for herself. So she opens up Millicent's Minions, and she gets an LLC. And this is Millicent's best episode so far, because it not only shows that she is a smart girl and she's smarter than the rest of the women in her age group, but instead she has that soft side. So she's calling Freddie dad, and then of course Freddie is getting all emotional and in his feelings. We don't get a lot of Freddie this episode, but we do get a heavy dosage of Millicent, and she is just written so well in this episode, and I loved how her back and forth was with the other girls. It was a joy to watch, and honestly, it felt pretty fun just to see Millicent be the boss, and I can just tell she's on a different wavelength than any of her peers. So I loved Millicent in this episode, and yes, Freddie does get a cute moment with her at the end. But guys, I will have to say the standouts again in this episode are Harper and Carly. Both of them honestly have so much chemistry together. Miranda Cosgrove and Laci Mosley just steal every scene, but I'll be honest with you, Laci Mosley is one of those actresses that I can't wait to see more of outside of iCarly. She has so much personality. She brings a lot of joy to me, and I'm sure to so many people watching this show. And also, she's the most hyper self-aware person that I know in the show so far. I love the fact that she makes so many different quippy one-liners work. There's one line at the end of the episode where I literally laughed because it's true. Eventually, after they take down Leap-In, Spencer offers the walk-in pantry, which is, I'm guessing, a huge closet for Harper to work in. And, well, Harper makes a comment about white people not seasoning their food. And let me tell y'all, it's true. I just started to learn how to use salt a few years ago. Shout out to my girlfriend for helping me there. But guys, it has been really fun to see these characters grow together too. And this is the one episode that I think leans into Carly being a content creator the most. And one thing I loved about this episode too are the supporting actors getting a decent amount of time to really make an impact on this episode. One of them in particular is Skye Townsend, who plays Kiki. She's the leader of the Sunshine Girls troupe, if I'm not mistaken, and her squaring off with Millicent worked so well. I hope to see both of them again because it just seems like this is the formula that works for Millicent, and I'm really glad that Franchesca Ramsey understood that and wrote an amazing moment of dialogue between them two. It just really, again, works for me. And one thing I do want to revisit is the pacing to this episode, which actually worked really well for me. It's very fast, it's quick, and it wastes no time, but most of all, the story is complete. This is, again, the most complete story that we've gotten, I think, of the Revival series so far since episode 2. I can see this being a trend moving forward as we get into episode 13. At least I'm crossing my fingers and hoping so, because my biggest complaint last week was that the story didn't feel as whole. But here, there was a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it felt complete with a huge resolution at the end. I love the fact that Harper and Carly could get along because they had their biggest fight yet in this episode. Now, there weren't any cameos from the original series in this episode, but if you guys have found any, let me know down below in the comments. So again, overall, you guys, this episode was really, really good. It was solid. It had me cracking up. I loved all of the one-liners, the comments from Harper, the writing, the clapbacks between Carly and Harper themselves was amazing. There was this black belt line that just almost had me on the floor. But again, I absolutely adore this episode. An amazing script, a complete story, and most of all, some very good key character moments between Millicent, Freddie, and all of our main cast. So yes, this is one of the best episodes of the series so far, and I'm so glad that we got it when we did. But guys, I need to know what you think down below in the comments. Let me know. Go ahead and get loud and hit the big red button below if you don't want to miss out on my review and recap of episode 8 next week. Next Thursday, we're talking more iCarly right on the channel. It's just so cool that we're in 2021 and we're talking about iCarly. It's such a treat, and I'm hoping now Argentina's not spying on me. Well, let me go ahead and hit stop recording just in case she is. Alrighty guys, again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.